the World Storytelling Cafe. And it is Friday, so it is time for children's stories. And we've been joined for this by adults that have never quite got over their 30th childhood. And Mike, that could be your 31st childhood. I'm not so sure. No, oh, okay, your second childhood. You merely so, but it is Children's Stories Night, and I can see Lillian and the girls are here. So there's so we have at least some children, and wherever you are, on whichever device. And I'm just going to go to chat. Yes. So without further ado, and with enormous pleasure, let me introduce my great friend and sometimes compatriot, the wonderful Baden Prince. Put your hands together, please.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming by. Thank you for coming by. Good to see friendly faces, and you, Shane, and et al. So tonight, I'm going to do you a couple of stories that are based around the theme of brothers. And the first story I'm going to introduce to you is the story of the three billy goats Gruff, which just happens to be my favorite children's story of all time. There were three billy goats Gruff. There was tiny little billy goat Gruff. There was medium-sized billy goat Gruff. And there was great big billy goat Gruff. And our three billy goats lived in a field. And this field was full of plenty of lush, soft, lovely grass. And every day, our three billy goats Gruff would gambol up and down the field. They'd run back, they'd play, and they would eat. They would eat themselves silly. They'd eat all the tall, lush blades of grass, and they'd eat all the way down to the tender stems, and they'd eat the flowers, and they'd eat the buds at the side of the road. And what a lovely life they had. But you know what happens when you keep eating the way Shane's going through that yogurt like there's no tomorrow, right? Sooner or later, you're going to run out of food. And that's exactly what happened to them. They woke up one day and there was not a single blade of grass left anywhere. They'd eaten the lot. Oh dear, they said, what are we going to do? Well, it just so happens that just over the way, just across the bridge, there was another field, the size of the one that they just finished eating bare. The only trouble was, to get across the bridge, you had to pass the home of the troll. And the troll was, do you know what a troll is, girls? Yeah? No, you don't? You're lucky. I'll tell you what a troll is. A troll is big. A troll is ugly. A troll is smelly. A troll is slimy. Can you see up in the top of your screen, there's a fellow with a big thick beard and a big purple hat. Can you see him? Well, he looks a little bit like a troll. He's not really, he only looks like one. He's actually quite a nice man. But that gives you an idea what a troll looks like. Big and scary and lots of snot dribbling down his nose and big bulging eyes, bulging out his head, and and this troll used to sing a horrible, scary troll song. Do you want to hear the troll song? The troll song went like this. I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll, foldy roll. And I'll eat you for supper. Ooh, and when you heard the horrible troll song, you'd better run and hide and made sure that he couldn't see you and made sure that he couldn't smell you. And most of all, you better made sure that he didn't get near to you and eat you all up. So the three billy goats, Gruff, they had a bit of a problem. They were, how are we going to get over the bridge? Big field with all that lovely, lush green grass. Oh. So they had a plan. And the first thing they did was they sent little Billy Goat Gruff. Now there's somebody sitting down here in my screen who looks a lot like little Billy Goat Gruff. And little Billy Goat Gruff went tip, 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 tip. Are you gonna go tip, tip, tip with me? Let's go. Let's go over to the bridge together. Tip, 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 tip. Tippity tippity clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clippity 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 clop. Uh-oh. The sound of the little Billy Goat Gruff's hooves woke up the big ugly troll. And he came out from under the bridge and he said, I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll, foldy roll. And I need you for supper. And little Billy Goat Gruff was scared, but she said to the great big horrible troll, oh no, you don't want to eat me. Look at me. I'm just a tiny little Billy Goat Gruff. Look, I'm all skin and bone and fur and hair and hooves. There's nothing on me to eat. Look, you just go, ow, and I'll be gone. What you want to do is wait for my brother, medium-sized Billy Goat Gruff. He's a bit bigger than me. He's got more meat than me. He'll make you a nice meal. And the troll said, you wouldn't be trying to trick me, would you? And little Billy Goat Gruff said, oh, no, no, not at all. Wait till my brother comes along. You'll see. You'll thank me. And the troll said, off you go then. And off went little Billy Goat Gruff. Clip, clop, clip, clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, tip top, tippity top, tippity top, across the bridge and into the big field, which was full of lovely, soft, green grass. Whew! I got away with that one, said little Billy Goat Gruff. But then next came medium-sized Billy Goat Gruff. And medium-sized Billy Goat Gruff went clip, clop, clippity clop, tip, top, tippity top, tippity top, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip. Out came the big ugly troll when he heard those footsteps coming across the bridge. And he started singing the horrible troll song. Can you remember how it goes? Can you sing it with me? Hi, Louie. You're right. Let's sing it together. I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll. I'm a troll, foldy roll, and I'll eat you for supper. And medium-sized Billy Goat Gruff said, but you don't want to eat me? Look at me. Yes, I've got a bit more meat than little Billy Goat Gruff, but you should wait for my brother, great big Billy Goat Gruff. Ooh, now he's gonna give you a good meal. He's got big chunky arms, and he's got big chunky chest and a big chunky back and big chunky legs. And you'll be glad when he comes along, because he'll fill up your belly all the way to the top, just like Kerry's doing with all that food that she's not letting us see her eat. So you wait for great big Billy Goat Gruff. And the troll said, you wouldn't be trying to trick me, would you? And medium-sized Billy Goat Gruff said, oh, no. Wait for my brother, wait for my brother. And the troll said, all right then, off you go. And off he went, tip-top, tip-top, tippity-top, tippity-top, clip-clop, clip-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop, across the bridge into the field where he joined his brother, and they started eating all that lovely lush grass. Well, who was next to come across the bridge? That's right, great big Billy Goat Gruff. And he was big, and he had two great big Billy Goat horns on his great big Billy Goat head. And he had great big Billy Goat hooves that went clip, clop, clip, clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, tip, top, tip, top, tippity top, tippity top, clip. He stopped when he saw the big ugly troll come out, and the big ugly troll said, look at this great big Billy Goat Gruff. He's got And he started singing the horrible troll song and rubbing his great big horrible troll belly, going, I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll, foldy roll. I'm a troll, foldy roll, and I'll eat you for supper. But great big Billy Goat Gruff had other ideas. He backed away, clip, clop, clip, clop, and he lowered his great big Billy Goat head, on top of which he had two great big Billy Goat horns. And he started pawing the earth. And he ran at full speed at that great big horrible. And he ran and he slammed into him. Bang! And that great big horrible troll went flying up in the air. Away and away and away and away he flew, over the bridge, over the field, over the hills and far away, and was never seen again. And great big Billy Goat Gruff went across the bridge into the pasture, and they all, guess what? They all lived happily ever after. Thank you.
Baden, that was fantastic. Louis, do we want another story from Baden?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've got Louis's permission to ask you for another story. Have you got something else for us?
Are you sure? I most certainly do, especially for Louis. And this is also a story about three brothers, but it's a very different story. It's called The Thief and the Three Blind Beggars. Once upon a time, in a place far, far away from here, they called it Romford. There lived a thief, and this man had been a thief all his life. He just went around stealing from people. He had a cave underneath his house that was full of gold rings and chains and crowns and gold cups and silverware and jewelry and silks and cloth, you name it. He had it in his cave. And one day, as he used to like to do, he went down in the cave and he was looking at all his gold and his silver and his silks and his diamonds, and all of a sudden, all of this came down on him like a giant rock, pressing him down. And he realized that all his life he'd been doing wrong. And he decided that he needed to put things right. So off he went to visit the Bishop of Romford. Somebody said that when they used to walk through Romford Market, they used to steal all the stolen stuff that this thief used to steal. His name was Barabbas. And while he was on his way to see the Bishop of Romford, Barabbas passed through the market, and he saw the strangest thing. He saw a man dressed in black, a beggar who was blind. Can you imagine? A blind beggar dressed in black? That's odd, he said. Then he looked across the road, and there across the road was another man, also a beggar, also blind, but he was dressed in blue. He thought, that's odd. One blind beggar dressed in black, another blind beggar dressed in blue. Oh! And while he was trying to take this in, who do you think he saw coming up the road? That's right, a third black beggar dressed in brown. Funny, he thought. One blind beggar dressed in black, another blind beggar dressed in blue, and a third blind beggar dressed in brown. And they all looked the same. I wonder if they're brothers. And sure enough, they were. The first blind beggar dressed in black, his name was Barry. The second blind beggar dressed in blue, his name was Billy. And the third blind beggar dressed in brown, his name was Bob. Now that's very odd, thought the thief. One blind beggar dressed in black, whose name is Barry. I'm going to get myself in trouble here, aren't I? I made a rod for my own back. And it's the first time I've done this. Second blind beggar dressed in blue, his name's Billy. A third blind beggar dressed in brown, and his name's Bob. And they're all brothers. What's going on here, he thought. Now, there's something funny about this. So he started watching them really closely, and he noticed the first blind beggar walked up to a man standing behind a stall, and he said, "Excuse me, sir, could you give a poor man a few pennies to get something to eat?" And when the man dropped a few pennies in his cup, he said, "Thank you." and may the Lord protect you from what happened to me last night. So he went to the second beggar and watched him. He went up to a man in a shop and he said, "Excuse me, could you give a poor man a few pennies to get something to eat?" And when he dropped some money in his cup, he said, "Thank you, and may the Lord protect you from what happened to me last night." And the third blind beggar went up to some people sitting in front of a cafe and he said, "Excuse me, could you give a poor man a few pennies to get something to eat?" And when they dropped some money in his cup, he said, "Thank you, and may the Lord protect you from what happened to me last night." Well, Barabbas had been a thief all his life. And if there was one thing he knew, it was when people were being crooked. And he said, "No, oh no." So he decided to follow them and see what they were up to. He followed the first blind beggar dressed in black all around for the whole of the rest of the afternoon. And sure enough, just as it started to get dark, he turned off the market road and went into a little shop that sold and exchanged things. He was in there for ages and ages. And when he came out, he was walking very, very, very slowly, as if his pockets were full of rocks. Well, Barabbas followed him all the way to his house. And when he opened the door to go in, Barabbas slipped inside without the man seeing him. He went in, shut the door. He didn't turn on the lights, because why would a blind man need lights in his house? And then he went to the back of the house and he opened a big door, a big metal door. And inside that door, what do you think he had? Eh? What do you think he saw? The man's room was full from the floor to the ceiling with big blocks of silver. All the money that he'd got from all these people, he'd bought silver with it. He was rich, and he wasn't blind. He was counting his silver rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, hundreds of them. And then he came out of the room, closed the door behind him, and because he thought he was all alone, he counted the numbers on the locks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he took off his ragged clothes and put on a lovely silk dressing gown, went into his kitchen, cooked himself a sumptuous meal, char siu pork. Lovely. And he sat down and ate till his belly was full. Well, Barabbas knew exactly what was going on. He waited till the man fell asleep, went back to the room, opened the metal door. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Went in and took out all the silver, put it in a massive sack, and dragged it away down the road. Well, the next morning, when our blind beggar got up and put on his black clothes, he thought to himself, "Hold on a minute." So Barry went and said, and when he opened the door, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the silver had gone. He went mad. And he ran down the road screaming and shouting, "My silver, my silver, it's all gone, it's all gone." And everybody looked at him thinking, what's he talking about? He's a blind beggar. He's as poor as a church mouse. What silver? He's gone mad. Ah! Ah! And then he met up with his brothers and they quickly jumped on him and dragged him off around the corner, told them what happened. Billy said, "How many times have I told you not to spend your money on silver and keep it in your house? That's why I've spent my money on gold dust, which I keep in this hollow walking stick that I take everywhere with me. You see? Now Barabbas was hiding round the corner and he heard that. So you know what he did, don't you? That day, he followed Billy all around and he waited till the end of the day when Billy went into the shop and changed the money that he'd made into gold dust and put it inside the hollow cane and went home, tap, tap, tapping, pretending he was blind. Unlocked the door of his house, went in, Barabbas slipped in next to him, waited till he put down the cane, watched him while he took off his dirty, old, raggedy blue clothes, put on a fine silken robe, went and made himself a big meal, ate till his stomach was full, and fell asleep. And as soon as he fell asleep, what do you think happened? That's right. Barabbas gold dust, ran out of the house and ran off down the road with it. But he was smart. He thought, when he wakes up, he's going to realize it's gone. So he got a big bag and he tipped all the gold dust out into the bag. And he filled up the bag with sand, filled up the stick with sand, took it back to the house, sneaked in, and propped it up in a corner. So the next picked up the stick and he thought, aha, everything's okay. And off he went to start his begging, walking all the way around Romford Market. But halfway through the day, he thought to himself, something's not quite right here. Tapped his stick 3 times. This doesn't feel right. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. So he walked round the corner, took the top off, and tipped a little of the gold dust into his hand. It wasn't gold dust, was it? Oh, no. It was just sand. Ah, he went mad, threw the stick in the air. Ah, all my gold dust. Ah, I've been robbed. Ah, and he started running around the street, shouting and screaming. Everybody, what's wrong with him? What gold dust? He's a poor old beggar. He's gone mad. He met up with his brothers, and Bobby calmed him down and said, how many times have I told you not to turn your money into gold dust and keep it in your stick? You should do what I do. Barabbas was watching and waiting and listening round the corner. And he decided to follow Bobby that afternoon. He followed him all around the market as he walked around begging, give a poor man a little money for something to eat, thank you and may the Lord help you and protect you. And he waited till the end of the day when it got dark. And he went into the shop and came back. And he saw him walk up the road, fiddling with his clothes, fiddling and pinching and prodding and poking. And he waited till he went home, slipped inside the house behind him, waited till he took off his raggedy clothes. And when he took it off and dropped it on the ground, it didn't just fall quietly. It made a rattling sound. Aha, I know what's going on there. And he picked up the old clothes and ran out. And sure enough, every single seam and every single pocket was filled with diamonds. Because what Bobby used to do was change his money into diamonds that he hid in his clothing. So Barabbas had robbed all of them clean. And when Bobby got up the next day, with all his diamonds in it. He went mad, grabbed his head and started screaming, "Ah!" and ran out in the road going, "My diamonds, my diamonds." And everybody looked at him and thought, he's mad. What diamonds? He's just a poor old beggar. Barabbas left the area, went away, gathered all that wealth together and put it with his. And then, taking his time, he went all the way back to Romford to see the Archbishop and said, "I'm here to tell you what I've done. There were 3 men who were going all around, fooling people, robbing them, stealing from them. You may have heard about it. I'm the one who's robbed them." "Why did you do that?" said the Archbishop. "Well," said Barabbas, "because I've been a thief all my life. But now I realize that what I've done was wrong. And I wanted to make those men pay, because what they're doing is wrong. Bring it all to me," said the Archbishop. And I know what you're thinking, but it's not that kind of story. Barabbas gathered up all his own wealth. He gathered up the silver, the gold dust, and the diamonds that he'd stolen from the 3 bogus blind beggar brothers. He took it all to the Archbishop, and they changed it all into money, and they gave it all to the poor and to the needy, which is how these stories are supposed to end. And that is the truth, the whole truth, and everything but the truth. Thank you.
Oh, I love setting that story in Romford. That's genius, genius. Well,
Did you like that, Louis? Thank you, thank you. Lillian and girls, I hope you enjoyed that. Was that okay? Thank you for coming by. Thank you, H&J and Luby. Nice to see you. John, what are you saying?
well, I'm saying that it's been a great evening, hasn't it? Let's give Baden Prince a huge round of applause. Thank you, and you will be joining us again. We have an exciting week coming up on the World Storytelling Cafe. Monday, we always explore a theme on Monday, and we have stories about the wonders of nature. And I think Eamon Kelly is coming on to tell a story. I can't remember who else. Is anyone else here coming on to tell a story on Monday?
I've seen Hannah. Didn't Colin say he's dropping by? Kerry's waving over here in the corner.
Yeah, I might have said yes too, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'd be really disappointed as you spend half your life in woods.
Yes.
You know, it's a wonder you've managed to get on the screen without bits of twigs sticking out of your hair.
Well, that is often the way.
Yes.
He's starting to look like a tree.
I know, I'm getting more kind of like, grizzly bear every day, aren't I?
There's lichen and moss everywhere.
Right. Yeah, wash your hands before you serve me dinner next time we're in the field together, will you? Anyway, so Mondays we have
good night.
Nature stories about the wonders of nature.
Yeah.
Or as I was born in Essex, I'm calling it Ain't Nature Wonderful? And there's and then Tuesday, of course, we've got our young tellers, all tellers from all over the world, or from different places of the world, who are under 18 years old. Most of them about 11, 12 years old. So tellers from Gaza, tellers from Punjab in India, tellers from Scotland and England. They're wonderful, the Tuesday nights. And then And then coming up the end of the week, I apologize because next Friday, it's me. I'm going to be telling stories. All right. Is that all right, Louis and everyone? Yeah, am I allowed?
Yeah.
Yes, he can, John. Yes, he can.
Right. Okay. So it's me. Right. So we'll hastily pass over that. And next Saturday, the 20th, is World Storytelling Day. And we have people lining up and coming out of their ears to tell stories on that. And then on Sunday, as if that wasn't enough, we have our 1-year celebration. The World Storytelling Cafe has been going for 1 year next weekend. And so we have a worldwide story round. So over Saturday and Sunday, we have tellers from all over the world coming in to tell stories. And then Monday's a discussion of what's with. I'll start with Dave Tong, who was with us, did a lot of work at the beginning, but he's had to go out and earn a living, which is. So he's kind of dropped back a bit. But I know. But he's coming in on Monday night, and but we're going to talk to a lot of people who have been involved in the cafe, and what the cafe has meant to them. So you're all welcome to throw into that. That's Monday week. Kerry, come in and drop a bit in for that. Shane, you might. I'm not sure I want to know what you think, Shane.
I've changed my opinion on quite a few things, actually.
Yeah, and Mike, you have supported us and been in the audience right through, or at least for 6 months, and it would be really good to have you coming into that, and actually, if there were long service medals for audience, Mike, you'd get one of those. He has also been with us and told occasionally, you've got one. You decided you couldn't wait for me in the end of lockdown to give you one. You minted your own. And we got really big announcement coming up on that I'll be announcing on Saturday on World Storytelling Day. So we look forward to seeing you anytime you want to drop in. I'd love to see you all back on Friday, obviously, because then I won't feel like a hologram. And just any time we are here for the duration. So once more, can I have a final round of applause for Baden Prince? He is going to be back here. He's going to be back here later next month. He's got a friend, haven't you?
Apparently.
Yeah, you've got a friend.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Yeah. So who is this friend?
Okay, I was at a gig a couple of weeks ago, and I've seen this amazing storyteller he calls himself Baba C. He's a big guy out of Washington, D.C. He's just like a bundle of energy. He's so funny, and he's so bubbly and energetic. He's just amazing to watch. I've managed to make contact with him. And actually, I'm off over the weekend, so we're going to have a chat, and I'm going to try and inveigle him to come along. And he and I might actually do a two-hander together as an event for the cafe. So
that's what I'm hoping, and we'll let everyone know when that is, because I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, he's a bit special, just a bit.
Okay, Baba C. Yes. Okay, but for now, thank you very much. Ali, down in Marrakesh, thank you for driving the bus for us again. Give us a wave, Ali. I really like that picture of that Riyadh.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Baden.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks for taking care of business. Louis, thanks for coming by. Lillian and girls, great to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Luby and girls. Great to see you. Thanks, Kerry.
Thank you.
Take care all. Look after yourselves. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you all again.
Bye, man. Look after yourself. See you soon.
Bye.
Okay. Night all.